The case of Zachary Bernhardt, missing since 9/11/2000. Clearwater, Florida, 25 years ago on September 11th, exactly 1 year before the 9/11 attacks. Leah Hackett told police she tucked her 8-year-old son, Zachary Bernhardt, into bed, went for a middle-of-the-night swim in the community pool, and returned to an empty apartment, sparking Florida's longest-running Amber Alert. By the way, the pool locked at 10 p.m., so that's a very interesting situation. The backstory: on September 11, 2000, Zachary's mother, Leah Hackett, called police at 4:47 a.m. to report that her son had disappeared from the Savannah Trace apartments. Hackett told police she went for a walk and took a dip in the community pool while Zachary was in bed, and when she returned to their apartment, he was gone. On her 911 call, she didn't say anything about a walk. 25 years later, Zachary is still missing. It's still as devastating as it was the day it happened, said Billy Jo Jimenez, Zachary's aunt. It doesn't get better with time. They feel as though they've been holding their breath for decades. It's almost like you never get a chance to exhale, she said. So, yes, the pool closed at 10 p.m. She didn't say anything about a walk. She said she went for a quick swim in the pool, is what she told 911. So, her story is kind of fishy at this point. I think everyone acknowledges that, including Clearwater Police. Investigators call the disappearance suspicious. An 8-year-old goes missing in the middle of the night and nobody has any answers, said Clearwater Deputy Chief Michael Wallach. I believe that he was taken from his home by an abductor, someone that has watched him go back and forth to school from where he went. Jimenez, Zachary's aunt, said in a previous Fox 13 interview. You don't believe that it's happening to you, Zachary's grandmother Carol Bernhardt recalled during a past interview. You think he's hiding somewhere around the corner. There were kids that had DNA pulled on them to prove it was not him, Jimenez explained previously. On 9/11 in Pennsylvania, there was a Zachary Bernhardt that they couldn't get to. Investigate to see if it was him. It's been very hard to have coverage for him since he is missing on 9/11. There's no doubt about that. The 1-year anniversary was totally not covered because of the 9/11 terrorist attacks on our nation. Somebody knows something. The deputy chief of the Clearwater Police Department, Michael Wallach, has been involved in the case since day one, and he takes it personally. We have an 8-year-old kid who should be 32 today, and somebody knows something, Wallach stated. The area was searched in and out by hundreds of people. Detectives gathered more than 350 pieces of evidence, and Zachary's case fills 35 binders. Wallach added that the information in those 35 binders was recently scanned into one searchable document using Project Adam, which was named for Adam Walsh. Thank God for that. This indicates that the police may be taking another look at this case. They pretty much haven't done anything except follow up on a lead that comes in. And we're talking for the past 23 years at least. They always say if a tip comes in, they'll follow it, but we don't feel they've been actively investigating this case in over 2 decades. That makes it easier for an investigator to type in one word and search for a particular item. So the technology is advancing every day, and we're using those technologies to further our case. It would be nice if they would use social media, as we have been doing for the past almost 4 years, and garnering a lot of information. The case has changed hands over the past quarter of a century, which Wallach says is beneficial because it gets fresh eyes to look at it. It could be the smallest piece. It could be a piece we haven't realized yet. There's that technology that changes, Wallach explained. 25 years ago, cell phones were not prevalent. Were they? 25 years ago to this day, Zach would have been 32. What do you use every day? People have cell phones. People have cameras nowadays. So there could be one little piece of technology that we're missing. Could there be one little piece of evidence? But there's somebody out there who knows something, and it may be small or it may be big. We need that person or persons to come forward and say something because we are reinvestigating the case. He said police still get tips from across the country about possible sightings of Bernhardt. The tips come in on an anniversary or when stories run about the case or the department puts something on social media. People do call, and there is a case here and there where people call and say, hey, I think I saw him. Unfortunately, all the leads we actively followed up on turned out not to be him. They didn't follow up on all the leads, not that we're aware of. But we continue to evaluate those. As soon as someone calls or emails a tip in, we're on top of that lead, Wallach said. Now, no one has been ruled out. Wallach noted that over the past 25 years, no one has been ruled out as a suspect or a person of interest. They would not say whether at this point in the investigation they have a suspect or person of interest. Well, we have a few ideas, but everybody needs to be looked at, from the family on out to the neighborhood. In 25 years, Zach's mother has not reached out to us and asked us what's going on, what's active in the case, what's the status of the case. Recently, we traveled to another part of the state of Florida to talk with her, and we were met with negative results. She's uncooperative. Michael Wallach, Deputy Chief of Clearwater Police Department, said, "If that was your son that was 8 years old missing, would you be calling every day, every month, every hour? You would want to know what's going on?" Well, the police says they get nothing. According to a previous Fox 13 report, Zachary's aunt and grandmother have shown constant support to Zachary's mother, who faced her own obstacles being questioned in her son's disappearance early in the investigation. "We kind of felt that it was best for her to get out of the state in order for her to get herself together mentally," Jimenez said. "People have no idea what it's like. Don't judge somebody else's situation until you walk in my sister's shoes one day." Recently, detectives went to go speak with Leah, and they were met with negative results. Jimenez said, "My sister has cooperated from the beginning. She's given interview after interview with the police. There's nothing left to say. Now there's nothing else left. There's nothing left to interview. That's just maybe causing more trauma to her and her daughter that she doesn't need." As for why Leah doesn't call police, Jimenez said, "Why should she call? If there's information, they should be calling us, letting us know that they found Zach. Zachary's mom has lived under a cloud of suspicion," Jimenez said, "and it's time to move on. She said in all the years her sister's story has never changed." That is actually not accurate. "She misses Zach and wants him to be found," said Jimenez. "There have been several leads over the years, but nothing has panned out." Both the grandmother and the aunt have been on news interviews saying that Leah walked out to take the trash and came back and Zach was gone, never mentioning one bit about her going for a swim. So what's up with that? In the summer of 2001, an acquaintance of Kevin Jalbert told detectives that he claimed to have killed a child and planned to kill again. An undercover detective made contact with Jalbert, and the pair drove through Clearwater, and Jalbert reportedly told the detective, pointed to the Savannah Trace apartments, and said that he abducted an 8-year-old boy. However, he did not point to Zachary's apartment, and he said Zachary was wearing different clothes than the ones that he was wearing the night he disappeared. Now, of course, we only know from his mother what she says that he was wearing, so are we 100% sure about that? Maybe Zachary was at a babysitter's apartment. Maybe he wasn't at his own apartment, if Jalbert had anything to do with this to begin with. We personally don't believe that he does. This guy is a sicko. He's in prison for 40 years where he needs to be. But we personally feel that there's no connection to the Zachary case, and the police have not been able to make a connection either. When he was taken in for questioning, that's Jalbert, reportedly denied taking Zachary. Jalbert was later convicted of solicitation and child pornography, we'll say, and is currently in prison. Then there was another kidnapping at the Savannah Trace Apartments. On New Year's Eve, 2001, another young boy was kidnapped from the Savannah Trace Apartments by someone. Witnesses said he was driving a white van or truck with stickers on it. It had ice cream symbols on it. We have actually been investigating that case as well. That child was found alive in a dumpster in Sumter County. The boy climbed out of the dumpster, fully naked, and started walking along State Road 48 in Bushnell, Florida, and was found by a passerby, thank God. Police said the suspect in that case has not been located. We are continuing to work that case. He is known as Jet. You will see Justice for Jet that we post about. That is the second case that they're talking about here. Now, what does Zachary's family think? His family has their own theories. They have never wavered in their belief that Zach is alive. We also agree with that. "I think that someone has taken Zachary, definitely kidnapped him," said Jimenez. "They searched for days and found nothing. He was not in the area." At first, the family searched crowds for Zachary's young face, hoping to spot the 8-year-old they remembered now. They rely on age-progressed images showing what Zachary might look like today in his 30s. I watched my nephew grow up on a poster, Jimenez said. I watched him progress through his life. Jimenez said they believe the case is solvable. Yes, it actually is very solvable. On that, the police and family agree. Now, someone knows what happened, and we need everyone and anyone who knows something to come forward, said Wallach. One day we will know what happened to him, Jimenez said. Until then, we'll keep hoping, praying, and keeping his face out there because he is somewhere. You know, there are many organizations that have offered to help, and they've gotten rejected. Now, what can you do? At the time of his disappearance, Zachary was 4'6" and weighed 60 pounds. He had straight blonde hair and blue eyes. He also had a small scar on the bridge of his nose, one on his chin and one on his lower lip. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released age progression photos over the years showing what he may look like today. Anyone with information on his disappearance is asked to call Detective Daniel Bieber at 727-562-4242 at the Clearwater Police Department. You can remain anonymous when you call them. You can also send us a private message if you want. We will keep that confidential, and we can pass on any information that you may have to offer. But if you think you know something, please reach out. Listen, no matter how small, it may be bigger than you think it is. So, all right here is a video about Zachary and a song, and we'll leave it off with this.
Blonde hair shining in the Florida sun, blue eyes brighter than the oceans run. September shadows swallowed you whole, a scar on your nose, but you left a bigger hole. They call your name in the night, in the wind. Where did you go? Where have you been? Where are you, Zachary? The years keep chasing me, endangered and lost. Time can't pay the cost. Where are you? Clearwater, hold their breath. Your name lingers like a ghost unsaid. The amber light still burns, still bleed. A boy's life stolen, a desperate need.